Hi, ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. I don't want the world to know. I don't want my face to show. Two faces have I. I don't want the world to know. I don't want my face to show. Two faces have I. Oh. How am I troll for asking questions, genuine questions? I didn't call you a troll. Somebody else in the chat might have called you a troll, but I didn't call you a troll. As far as why someone else would call you a troll, I don't know. Maybe because looping a bunch of unrelated things like my gender and my sexual identity and my religion and all these different things together as if they are like united is kind of a troll thing to do. I mean, sometimes it's just something somebody does because they're not really thinking about it, or because they haven't thought about the issues enough, but a lot of times it's just done out of a desire to troll. Ooh, ooh. What's up, Abigail? Gay? Is that all you have to say? Are you so brain broken by the internet and pop culture that that's literally the only thing you're capable of commenting at this point? Just wondering. I like the fascist symbol on your guitar. It's a squatter's rights symbol. The camera reverses it. Its superficial resemblance to the British Union of fascist symbol is just that, superficial. If you'll notice, this machine kills fascists is also backwards. What smells? Your upper lip, maybe? Might be? Maybe? That is true. A squiggle through a circle is not exactly the most original design, but I do want to point out that its usage as a squatter's rights symbol predates its usage by the British Union of Fascists. Phoebe, what makes you think you are a girl? Like, how do you just think or feel, I'm not the gender I was born with, so you just change it? I just don't get how you feel that way and stuff. Well, that's probably because you're cisgender, right? It is, like, obviously a thing that's probably going to be pretty difficult for a person to understand that isn't trans. Like, it's going to be hard for you to understand on some level. That doesn't mean you can't get the basics of it and still respect a person that is trans. But I can understand why it might be difficult for cis people to relate to the experience. I mean, it's hard for me as a white person to relate to the experience of a black person when it comes to issues of discrimination, particularly. Maybe not generally. There's a lot of human experiences we have in common, but the same is true of me as a trans person and you as a cis person. Me being trans does not revoke any aspects of my humanity, for example. As far as how can one feel like that, I don't know. I just do. I don't exactly know like what chemical, bounce back is happening in my brain. If that's what you mean. I can't tell you the exact map of neurons that's firing off, but I can tell you this much. Since I was a little girl, obviously, before I came out as trans, I was raised as a little boy and everything, but even back then I knew that something was very wrong. I never felt quite myself or comfortable in any kind of boy clothes that I was ever allowed to wear. And the things that I was drawn to, especially as I got older, were not even things that were that expressly girly. It was just like, I'm not comfortable with this rigid frame of masculinity that's being assigned to me. And as I grew up and as I got older, I started to be able to experiment with more modes of self-expression. And the more I experimented with, the more rigid, ironically, masculinity felt as a framework. And the more imposed it felt, even though people were constantly trying to expand the limits and show different ways that I might be able to feel comfortable in that space. I never was able to get past this recurrent feeling that something is persistently wrong. That the person I look at in the mirror doesn't resemble how I picture myself. The way that I am obligated by social expectation to interact with my peers feels unnatural to me. And it was only after coming out as trans and mitigating many of these discrepancies that I started to feel confident and happy and, mentally healthy, I guess. We need a mod appreciation day. They do work hard. They do work hard, that's true. Be honest, do you feel happy with the way you look? Yeah. I mean, there's obviously things I want to improve with time, but in general, yes. What makeup, if any, do you wear? I don't wear any. I think you are beautiful. Thank you. What a sweetie. That's sweet of you. Hell yeah, brother. Stay hard. Huh? Anyway. Trans people have existed for thousands of years. Trans people were worshipped in ancient cultures. Yeah, not universally, but in many different ancient cultures, trans people were held in varying degrees of reverence. The delusional people are the people continuing to deny the existence of trans people. Those are the delusional ones in modern society. Ancient cultures knew a long time ago that trans people have existed. Modern science has reaffirmed that because trans people never went away. That phenomenon continues to exist and express itself in human beings, and as a result, we've been able to study it extensively. We've actually been studying trans people longer than we've been doing heart surgery. We've been studying trans people far longer than we've had a polio vaccine. How come you never hear about any trans people in the 1800s or older? Like, was that not a feeling or something? No, it was. And there are. We can look at a few. I can give you a few examples. Let's look at a few. I'm not going to be able to remember their name. I think there's one whose name I remember off the top of my head, but I don't want to say it and get it wrong. So give me just a second. Hello, Acidic Trauma. How are you doing today? I'm good. How are you doing today? Okay, so here's a few examples. We got Chevalier d'Eon, a French diplomat, spy, and soldier who successfully negotiated peace treaties for King Louis XV. After living the first half of her life presenting as a man, she negotiated official recognition from the French crown to live publicly and legally as a woman for the remainder of her life. So this is a trans woman from 1728. 1728 to 1810. Nanbot with the $10. Thank you so much. Imagine your friends all like the same game and they really want you to play with them. You keep playing it even though you really don't like it. You just keep playing it because they do. Exactly. That's actually a really apt way to put it, right? Like imagine that it's even worse than that. There's like an expectation from your family that you're going to not just play this game, but like it. And there's an expectation from your friends, same way. Your friends, your family, like broader society. And then there's this other game that is allowed to play, but like you're told you can't play that game. You can't touch it. You can't be a part of that fandom. You can't be a part of that community. And that's what living as a trans person is like. The vast majority of people like the game, play the game, they're fine with it. But then there's like 0.6% of people that are, born assigned to one and really desperately need the other to actually be fulfilled. That's a good way to put it. So then we've got, this is my favorite example of a historical trans person, the public universal friend. They were born in 1752 and they lived until 1819. An American preacher who, after surviving a severe illness in 1776, stated that their former self had died, and they were reanimated as a genderless spirit. The friend rejected birth names, gendered pronouns, and binary attire, preaching evangelism for decades in unisex clothing. Puff. Public universal friend, 1752 to 1819. Then you got Charlie Parkhurst from 1812 to 1879, a legendary California gold rush stagecoach driver and farmer, known for driving wild six-horse stagecoaches through treacherous territory. Parkhurst lived as a man for over 50 years and unexpectedly became one of the first known people assigned female at birth to cast a vote in a U.S. presidential election. Albert Cashier, 1843 to 1915, an Irish immigrant who enlisted in the 95th Illinois Infantry during the American Civil War. He fought in more than 40 battles as a Union soldier, surviving the war and continuing to live as a man in Sonoma, Illinois for the rest of his life while receiving a veteran's pension. Then you got Jenny June, 1874 to no one quite knows. Born Earl Lind, June was an American writer and advocate who authored the autobiography of an androgyne, which is, another archaic term for a trans woman, 1918, offering one of the earliest published first-hand accounts of being trans/gender variant in the United States. She also helped form the Circle Hermaphroditos, in 1895, one of the earliest known support networks for trans people. And then you got Lily Elbe, or Lily Elbe. Elbe? I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. 1886 to 1931, a Danish painter and one of the earliest well-documented recipients of gender-affirming surgeries, performed at Magnus Hirschfeld's Institute for Sexual Science in Germany during the 1930s, before the Nazis burned all the trans books. Her life inspired the book and film The Danish Girl. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different examples of people who were 100% trans and 100% historical as fuck. We could find earlier examples too. We could go through archaeological finds where they found someone with a like a male skeleton, for example, or what looks like very much like a male skeleton. By the way, the science on that is not nearly as good as people think it is, but leaving that aside, they find all the, like fairly regularly, they will find in these big archaeological sites evidence of trans people in the form of male or female skeletons that have the opposite, that have burial goods that are typically associated with graves of the opposite sex, indicating a transgender person. A person who might have been one way by their chromosomal makeup, but lived a completely different way according to the way they actually were on the inside, by their brains, the only part of our lives that actually matters. So yeah, you asked why don't you hear about it? Because there are a lot of people that are deeply uncomfortable with trans people. There's been a really fucking broadly powerful and concerted movement by evangelists and fundamentalist Christians to try and extirpate that kind of information out of the hands of people who would learn from it. There's been a really concerted effort to try and get books that educate people about historical trans people out of libraries, both at schools and public libraries as well. It's something you don't hear about because despite how much people on the right will say that the left controls our culture and how, it's elitists on the left and everything that are telling everybody how they ought to think and feel, it's actually people on the right and people in deeply religious communities that are responsible for that role in a lot of ways. Not, justly, but it's something that they are able to manipulate people into continuing. And so, you don't hear about them because the clergy doesn't want you to hear about them. You don't hear about them because the idea of trans people kind of flies in the face of the socially backwards myths that these preachers have been selling you for the last 50 years. Bulk shit. We hear about this all the time for less than 0.3 of the... No, it's 0.6% of the population by most estimates, but by some estimates as high as 1.3%. Sounds like you've got some bad numbers. Thank you, Ignar, for being a member. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. It is people like you who keep this channel going. Member for 4 months, Shred a Parishioner. Hey, you want to do a Discord chatteroni? Yes. Hit me up. Yes. Pop into, Stream Guest Vet. Unless you have perms. I don't know if you have perms. But yeah, go into the community Discord and join Stream Guest Vet or Live if you have perms. I don't know if you have perms or not. I need to make perms for this channel though, honestly. Channel settings. Channel permissions, add role. No, I have to make a new role. Fuck. I have to make a new role. Oh my god, this is gonna take forever. Oh my god. Settings. Roles. How do I add a new one? I need a new one. Oh, there it is. Little plus button. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. We'll give, no, we'll see here. Ignore, Merrick, Casey, Sorry, I'm just going through and doing some maintenance on my Discord to make things work good while Ignore figures out how to get in here. Okay, that'll be good enough for now. Let's do that. Thank you, Real WJMMA. Okay, thank you. $1.99. I appreciate that. People with shouldn't be in women's spaces. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to say, but good to know. Good to know. Let's see here. Let me just... I know, Ignore. I'm trying. Give me 1 second. I'm just editing some things real quick. Change permissions, add rule. Full VC perms. Okay, view channel. Connect. Speak. Video. Use soundboard. Use external sounds. Okay. Sweet. I figured it out. I did it. Maybe I did it. I gotta make sure that I did it. Let's see here. That's not what I want. No. No. What the fuck? Hey, Ignore, is that you?
Oh shit, I think I finally figured it out.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to fucking do this shit, because, I had this thing set up as a private channel, but now that I haven't, or now that I don't, wait, maybe it, okay, wait. Yeah, so wait, okay, yeah, everything's working good now. Okay, yeah, so I gave you full VC perms, and that's why you're able to join. So everything's working good now.
Because I didn't see that chat until I was like, oh, let me pop back in there again. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Taylor?
Do you need help with something? Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I got it fixed. I wanted to make sure that when I changed the settings for this channel that I didn't accidentally make it a public channel, but I looked at it and it just changed how the roles are displayed, but the everyone role still has C channel turned off and all the other things turned off, so it's fine. It's working exactly as I want it to. Thank you, Taylor.
Also, we'll see. I'm also kind of partly happy because what's happening right now, I'm literally using the phone that I went rapping with earlier, and it got fucked, and to the point where the screen was mega fucked, but now it's starting to work, but the SIM card's still not quite good, so fingers crossed. I'm just literally using the Wi-Fi. Hopefully things work out, and maybe when I plug it in tomorrow, it will be all Gucci, because I'm just like, oh my god, no, I don't want to have to deal with getting new damn phone. That's the last thing I need.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you don't have to get a new phone either. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I got
for
a
sure.
Wi-Fi backup anyway, so it's not a big deal.
So Ignar, you want to argue? You want to argue with this chat with me?
I haven't seen it. I'm just like, oh.
So somebody says you guys didn't do enough, and it's pissed me off. What do you mean we didn't do enough?
Don't feed the feed.
What was I supposed to do? About what? Yeah, enlighten us. Not gonna lie, I'm super disappointed in Americans. Let's see here. Right now, there's obviously more Dems than those morons, and Trump still in some or many didn't do their job. Now my country, Canada, suffer. I love it when one of my colonists comes into my live chat to tell me about like how I should be voting and what kind of effects my country has on geopolitics. Like I'm not aware of that. Oh. Well, it's just like the condescending attitude with which someone like that approaches me makes me want to deliver that condescending attitude back to them, you know? So I don't know why they think that that's like an effective tactic.
I mean, because ultimately it never really is, but yeah, I will say I always kind of like to throw it back a little bit, because like, you don't, maybe you kind of hear certain news about like what's going on, right? But you're not like in the mix of the trough, you know, like you're not literally in the trough like we are, kind of, you know,
fucking
the American bullshit that we do. Right?
Fucking
like, so it's
no.
a fundamental different thing than seeing it from the outsider's perspective, which, you know, like I can grant, but that condescending attitude of like, oh well, fuck, dude, you're all just that dumb and this and that. It's like, nah, we're not all like that. A lot of us are, unfortunately, but like you gotta have to like see the difference. So, you know,
Not only that,
us literally getting that, but we just don't have the power to change that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but then there's so many of us that can quote unquote change that shit, but yeah, just make it worse because they're just that ignorant and stupid. You know, it's
my thing is, my thing is like they fucking don't like. Okay, so I don't like this idea that it's an American's job to vote for the Democrats. I do not like this presumption, whether it comes out of Canadians, Americans, or anybody else, that the only rational vote in any election is automatically for a Democrat at the national level. And I also don't like the idea that when the Democrats fail to elicit enough votes for their candidate, that is somehow the fault of the fucking voters. That's not what voting is supposed to be about, motherfucker. Voting is supposed to be about choosing who you want to run your country, not about choosing who you don't want to run your country. That's like that's negative voting. Like that almost feels like the opposite of democracy. Like how is that even like a democracy at that point? You're voting against some other motherfucker, and that's the standard of voting now?
For real, yeah. I mean, also one thing I've noticed, especially when it comes to like those, at least in the broader modern geopolitics right now, with like those like Abdul El Sayed and people like that, like, or Mamdani, we will literally look at people like this and be like, no, we actually can't vote blue no matter who. They're too crazy. They're this and that, or they'll find like some excuse to be like undermine them in every fucking way.
Yeah,
if they do win, it's like, oh no, we actually have to undermine that because the Republican apparently is a lot better than them. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You're
whenever
supposed to be Democrat, but now you're literally like going against the people that are like in your fucking party. The Democrats
dude, like, yeah, I'm hearing it.
Vote against our interests.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't know. It's just kind of popping off. I'll mute myself real quick. Vote against fashion.
Alright then. I
did not know that was about to happen, but it did.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway,
Just popped in and like
what
kind
are
of cooked and just left.
what somebody said, what are you even? Aren't you ashamed of all this BS? What do I have to be ashamed about? I'm a beautiful trans woman making content online by engaging with pointless MAGA chuds and the rare few intelligent people that are willing to step up and wade through all you stupid pieces of shit to try and have a conversation with me. And I'm, like, honestly doing pretty well for myself on the basis of that. What exactly do I have to be ashamed about?
Like, kind of the bullshit, right? You know, like, is it just, like, the American politics stuff, or, like, personally, like, what would that mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause, yeah, like, we're all doing our own damn thing. But, you know, we don't have control on, like, the broader scheme of shit.
Oh my god.
Like,
Oh my god.
What we gotta do.
Wearing a dress does not... Hold on. Wearing a dress does not make you intelligent. Huh? When did I say it did? Okay, Ignart, you field some of these Chuds comments for a second. I gotta step out and pee. These people are dumb.
Sure. I, like, that last one especially, like, what? Oh, you got a dress, make you dumb. What, like, the fuck?
Holy non sequitur.
Comme de la François? Like, how many, like, women, even men, shockingly, that probably have worn a dress before in their fucking life? You know, like, how about this? George fucking Washington on his farewell dress literally wore a pink suit. Maybe not like a full dress, but a pink suit. But, oh, you know, someone with a dress is unintelligent. Like, just shut up. Like, get out of here. Come on. Like, this is ridiculous. Actually ridiculous. Just people directing? Oh, 100% Daisy. Absolutely. Sad people would now have a days. Man, Phoebe told me I was going to be handling Chuds, and I'm just looking at people that are disagreeable. Just pure agreement. God damn. Where's the Chuds? I need my Chud.
So is non sequitur man still here? Mr. Edgar non sequitur?
I don't think so. I haven't seen that, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Some pure agreement.
Cash Calhoun is still trying to find some angle to troll me with. Like, you guys are so pro-equality for people who are supposed targeted, but we all get targeted in our ways, and you only make stuff equal for yourself. That is literally not what people on the left are about. If you're talking about queer advocates in general, then maybe you've got some basis to stand on, but even queer advocates tend to align with the concept of solidarity, which is the idea that, yes, you're right, all kinds of different people struggle in all kinds of different ways. Class dynamics, race dynamics, sex and gender dynamics. There are things that I'm not even thinking about right there. Religious dynamics. There are more than that even. And all of these different things have elements by which they can oppress a person. And people who believe in solidarity, like pretty much everybody on the left and most queer advocates, believe that in order to improve the lot of any given group, it behooves you to stand in solidarity and to stand to aid other groups that are suffering in ways that are similar or in ways that are dissimilar, but which, you know, lead to similar deprivations. That kind of thing is intrinsic to the way I look at politics and to the way most people on the left look at it. So to act like we just don't care about that is to disregard a big part of a lot of people on the left's policy platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even me as a queer person, like, I generally kind of actually will emphasize a lot more about, like, labor / like, union-based leftist politics, more so than my, like, broader, like,
I agree,
queer / like, social leftist politics, you know, honestly, because, like, there's a lot more of a connection with that and the bread and butter issues where every human being, regardless of their background, will always be supported by, you know, those broader advocacies, you know, like, because at the end of the day, even if maybe I personally might think, you know, someone's individual, like, shit might be a little weird or a little, like, uncomfortable to me, I don't give a goddamn, it ain't hurt me. I don't have to be around it. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, at certain points, like, why do I actually really emphasize and care about a certain thing?
Well, that's the thing I'm always...
really actually impact me.
That's the thing...
It's like, at a certain point, people gotta just reflect on that and be like, is certain things like immigrants or queer people or whatever the fuck, like, are these really, truly impacting me like it's being told and sold to me? No? Then maybe I'm being told a bunch of bullshit or lies. Maybe it's more of a bigger issue that is, being distracted from me, and I haven't realized it yet. And and there's so many fuckers that just will never understand that. And whatever, shame on them, I suppose. Because what are you gonna do? But man, I always try to branch out to those that at least have a little bit of a brain in their head about that. Because I hate that there's so many people that are just so locked in on something like that, or at least distracted and convinced that's the way to go, kind of thing. At least with the Maga / like Epstein shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, how are people to this day still supporting that shit?
Well,
or even like liberals are like at this point being like, fuck this shit. Like, we should take a little bit of a radical approach about this. It's like even liberals are kind of looking at what's going on, being a little like radical every so often. Not all of them, but I've noticed that a little bit more often than not lately. I'm like, I like that. At least for me, I'm like, I like that shit.
Yeah,
and have to be the way it is, when it comes to that advocacy, I suppose, but I'm glad that they're figuring it out in some way.
Oh, me too. Yeah, like, what about detransitioners? Like, a very small percentage of trans people end up detransitioning, and the vast majority of those who do cite their reason as social pressure. As in, they don't have a supportive community around them, the people in their family, and sometimes even in their friend group don't support them, and they end up isolated and alone, and they decide that the only way that they can mend these bonds that people have chosen to break for completely stupid reasons is to live in an authentic life that satisfies the people around them. And it's really sad because in a lot of cases, just moving to a new city would solve a lot of these people's problems. But, like, how do you convince someone to leave everyone they've ever known and the only place they've ever lived and all that? I mean, sometimes it takes something like that, but unfortunately, sometimes people do decide to detransition and live that inauthentic life of a person that's closeted, because they simply don't have enough people in their community that are, that they're able to feel safe around. And that's a tragedy.
100%.
But it's not a tragedy because they ever became trans. It's a tragedy because people are still so bigoted and small-minded and backwards that they refuse to accept that there are some people who are different.
100%. I even say, like, it's tragedy on a virtue that we don't have a fucking broader universal healthcare system to even say, like, hey, they deserve this adequate healthcare to be able to have opportunities, even with social stigma shit, to still be saying, hey, at least have, healthcare to transition, this and that, even if my circles, want to try to disparage me on that. Because I at least, can find new people, new friends and shit. Like, even in, like, the city I live in, if that accessibility was there. But universal healthcare in this country is like, unfortunately, seems like a goddamn fairy tale the more, fucking gets advocated for in a weird fuck way.
Well, I mean, it's, it seems like a fairy tale because, like, when you look at the American people's support for universal healthcare, it's widespread and has been for years. Now, you can, here's the thing, you can change the wording of the polling and shit, and you can make it, you can get it down to as low as like 48% if you change the wording of the polling and present like a policy idea that doesn't actually reflect what they're looking to do. But the big reason is it really has nothing to do with the will of the American people, because the will of the American people has been pretty solidly in the camp of single-payer healthcare of some form for a long time. The reason why is because, like representation in Congress, like fucking just doesn't reflect how the average American actually feels about policy anymore. It just doesn't.
Absolutely. It's because capital and profit and money matters a lot more than the actual genuine will of the people.
Yeah, it's corporate capture. Yeah, it's corporate capture.
Yep.
And it's one of those inevitabilities that Marx and Engels talked about when it comes to like liberal democracies. It's one of those reasons like you have to you have to direct it towards like a better, more socialist system, and eventually towards a communist or an anarchist system of some kind, or it just devolves into fascism, because the pull of capital needs to be countered with an active pull by the people away from it, or it will eventually organize itself into whatever the quickest method for it to self-replicate is. It's a virus, effectively.
Yep. I mean, even look at like Benito. Like, I mean, we literally even seen like historically this happened before. Because Benito Mussolini at one point really was like a part of the Italian Socialist Party and the Communist Party at one point, but then became the literal founder of fascism and literally became like one of the godfathers of it, basically. I mean, and it's not uncommon for that type of shit to happen. It literally happens every fucking day. I mean, even with the National Socialists and shit, Germany, you know, their uprising and then their total takeover. But then you got like, you know, Pinochet, Batista, you know, et cetera, like all these motherfuckers, because it's like, it's kind of an easy grab, especially when it comes to a lack of proper
I agree, Rowan.
because I do see as something like education being a genuine, you know, like fruit of what really makes
King Bugs
democratic like society, and it's just, that's literally been one of the main quote threats of fascism, is like having a proper education system, especially a public one. And I've noticed historically, especially this is one of my little personal pet peeves of leftists, is when it comes to things like education, it's like seeing it degrade and die and slowly but surely like degrade to the way it's fucking going. It's like, I mean, and to so much to the point where it's like, not necessarily too far gone, but we lost a generation practically through shit. It's like, what the fuck? What are we at? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like, our education is really why we have democracy. We have this shit being functional. We can't have something like democracy function without a proper education. And
I agree.
This is one thing, especially leftists don't really connect sometimes, where it's like, I'm sorry, but especially with this threat of fascism and the degradation of education, it's like, I don't know if I can really be like a democratic advocate even as a leftist, just because like there are some motherfuckers where I just don't trust them to make the right choice, even on a classist basis or this and that and shit, because they're just too stupid, you know, basically. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's some motherfuckers out there, man. I'm just like, oh my god.
Dude, we just got a $50 donation.
Like, even when there is some agreement, they just won't budge. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Ignore.
What am I supposed to do with that? Besides just say that you shouldn't literally be allowed to vote, honestly, so us can help you instead of destroying everything, pretty much.
I agree.
Like, at a certain point, I just don't know, you know?
I do want to call out this donation from King Bugs, though. King Bugs, thank you so much for the $50. I appreciate that. You did get a Phoebe dance, because Ignar was in the middle of a rant, and I didn't want to interrupt him. I kind of tried a couple times, but he just, you know, he's like a steam train, you know? When the boilers get rolling at full capacity and the smoke's really sending through those smokestacks and up into the atmosphere, that steam just builds up, and you got to do something with the dump valve. So, you know, I tried my best, but I could not wrench that fucker closed, so I waited until the steam had reached a more appropriate level.
I do be a little bit of a steam engine sometimes.
Well, you're kind of like a breathing organ. There are these organs that you have to continuously pump if you're playing long sections. You have to pump them up a couple of times just to get them to play, because they have like, you know, this air bladder that you pump up with your foot. So you've got the small air bladder that's kind of like a billows, if you've ever seen a forge billows. And then you've got this larger air bladder inside the device. And you're kind of like one of those, you know, once you've got it pumped up to full capacity, you are going to play the symphony. And I have kind of learned that it's sometimes difficult to interrupt that, you know, that crescendo. So, but that, in any case, King Bugs donated another 20, and I appreciate that also immensely. Thank you so much, King Bugs. We've missed your presence, but we've been doing okay. I love to see you.
Oh, King Bugs is fucking goat. He's a cheat.
But yeah, I agree. Education is a problem in this country. It's been a problem for a really long time. George Carlin used to make fun of it as comedy. He's not the only one. Tons of people have made fun of the fucking American education system in their comedy.
Yeah.
Because...
What's your reason for...
Yeah, Bill Hicks, exactly.
Because I'm trying to have a brain.
And the fact that people have been talking about this for so long means that it was fucked up when me and you went to school. It was fucked up when our parents went to school. It was probably less fucked up when our parents went to school, given the evidence I've seen. And I'm not saying that the quality of information you're getting is any less, like, relevant. I guess that depends, honestly. Yes, in some cases I'm saying that. But, like, in general, like, if you learned that the pyramids were built as tombs by coalitions of workers, then you learned an accurate summation of history, okay? If you learned that ancient Native American societies were, in some cases, bigger than some European societies living at the same times, then you learned an accurate summation of history. But there are places and, you know, pockets and private schools where people have learned a pretty absurd vision of history, a pretty absurd vision of America's place in this world, and even regular American public education includes a lot of jingoism, a lot of shit that's just flatly passed over because it's not very convenient to the narratives of the people who fund the education system, namely the two-party duopoly that has, like, possessed the government for the last 80 years. It's a real fucking problem, and I think that it can be solved, but it requires not dissolution of the Department of Education, but a complete overhaul, I think, of that department and the way education is done in America. I'm personally pretty firmly against the idea of private schools. I do not think that a person's education should be allowed to be put into the interests of the profit motive. Like, I don't think that the profit motive should not be able to come between a human being and their ability to become educated and a better, more well-rounded citizen of their country.
Absolutely. The only way I can probably see, like, something like private education being meritable is literally on, like, very specialized shit. Like, you're specializing in, like, a very particular trade or some shit. And even then, it's like, nah.
Even then, I'd rather have a union doing it. I'd rather have a union doing it.
Compromise, but not as, like, a actual position, you know, because I can understand maybe trying to transition, you know, or something, but, like, at a certain point, it's like, nah, we just literally make the hard shift.
Well, too, like, I would rather have... What I would do, I would rather have unions doing it, honestly. I would love to see a program whereby the government...
You're speaking my bread and butter right there.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If you look into, like, the Industrial Brotherhood of Electrical Workers or the Industrial Steel Workers or whatever they're called, like, if you look into these big...
Or the UAW.
United Auto Workers. Look, there's a bunch of different unions that provide apprenticeship programs where they, like, you literally, like, there's a few different training facilities they have, and if you get selected for the apprenticeship, then you go to whatever the nearest one is near you, and they, like, take you on and train you into that program, and, like, you're working on the job pretty quickly. The cost of your education, basically, is paid for out of the like, a portion of the wages that you make within your apprenticeship years. And I would love to see an expansion of those programs paid for by grants that are paid for themselves by a more progressive tax system in this country. We could do so fucking much for the average fucking person in this country. And think about how important the types of jobs we're talking about establishing apprenticeship grants for, where people can go in and, like, unions can get trained to fucking train people that don't even necessarily need to be placed with the union, just to incentivize people to be trained into these industries, so that like, they can get this union level certification, but then, you know, they can go to an area that doesn't have union representation yet or something like that, and they can work for companies out there under, you know, relaxed rules or something, or they can go work internationally for outfits that are already unionized or with that international union, if it's one that's international, like the IBAW, or like, there's so many ideas that I have when it comes to training people and getting people adapted to the loss of jobs that's going to happen with AI, and like remedying the education system. And a lot of it has to do with giving people not just the ability to go into college and enjoy that experience and learn from that, but also to give people like incentives and like a clear path towards trade jobs, because that's going to be the backbone of like the average American, like, feasible kind of entry level but high paying kind of work. I mean, it kind of already is, basically, but it's going to become exclusively that. Like, if you want any chance at having any kind of well-paying job at all as like a regular working class person, I think, you know, after the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to become completely necessary to get some kind of trade skill training, unless you luck out on content creation or OnlyFans or something like that, which I guess is content creation, but you get what I'm saying, right? We are rapidly approaching a time when the idea of a human, like, middle manager is going to become rarer and rarer. We are rapidly approaching a time when the idea of someone who goes through college, gets a job as a software developer, keeps that job for 25 years, retires, is becoming rapidly outdated. Tons of jobs. And a lot of the ones that aren't going to go away for 30 or 40 years are trade jobs. Union jobs.
That's what fucking would. I would say, like, maybe as an asterisk, like direct customer service work kind of stuff, like food-based, like, kind of stuff might still be a thing, but that ain't gonna be doing nothing for you. I mean, I work in that industry right now. I'm kind of lucky that I work in a more broader, fast casual place where it actually pays good, but
oh, we got
a like a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, some other shit. Like, I'd literally be go fucked. I literally would need like 2, maybe 3 jobs.
No joke. Yeah.
Because, like, and I will say, there needs to be an advocacy, especially when it comes to labor advocates, to say that, like, yeah, that broader, quote-unquote, beginning industry, like, oh, yeah, you work fast. Like, why is that, like, such a demeaning thing? People need to go to the drive-thru and grab, like, a quick burger, burger, shake, and fries, or whatever the fuck. I mean, people need that shit. Like, and those places are there for that. Like, I mean, you need workers to do that shit. Why are they demeaned? But, someone who works in, like, the lumberjack industry or the engineering industry or whatever the fuck, why aren't they? Like, it's a little bullshit. Like, there shouldn't be, like, some double standard to it. I will say that, at least, but, because a worker's a worker's a worker. I don't care what fucking background that is, including sex work, too. It's like, you're a worker. Like, you deserve some basic respect, just like every other motherfucker does.
Stay mad, RevBat. Stay mad, RevBat. Stay mad forever. I hope it makes you really pissed off. Hey, Kingbugs, if you want to donate some more money or some gift memberships, feel free, because we got somebody that's directly complaining about it. Jesus Christ, y'all got the world twisted. RedBat is so fucking pissed that he's never had a drop or an ounce of charisma in his life to be able to apply to the creation and maintenance of a YouTube channel or an online presence that would earn him a fucking $1 or a dime. And I would love to see a demonstration of that bitterness.
Profile picture.
Yeah.
It's like, goddamn.
You have an anime profile picture. Who are you to talk about a goddamn thing? You got the world so little figured out, you got an anime profile picture. Shut the fuck up.
Well, none of us, so...
Not it, cause I've never done meth. Maybe in your case, meth would actually help you. Maybe you're one of those people that's actually got like undiagnosed ADHD and you actually needed a little bit of Adderall. You know, like maybe you actually needed a little bit of Adderall to help you study your books when you were a kid. And you missed out on that shit. And for that, I apologize. But I'm not your fucking mama. I'm not your fucking doctor. And I'm not the one who... I'm neither your doctor, nor your mother, nor a magical wizard. This is not something of which I can cure you. So, you know, good luck.
Oh my god, I really had to control myself. I was balling too hard on that one.
Yeah, no, I get you. You're fine. I'm funny sometimes like that. OML, Lamau. Nah, I had Addies at 5. The fuck you mean? You aren't my mama, FS. Rev Bat, I'm just gonna ask you a quick favor.
What the fuck? Dude, this
Hold on.
right now.
Hold on. Rev Bat, I'm just gonna ask you a quick favor. Can you talk like a fucking adult human being that's learned how to type in full sentences? I know you were taught that in school. I know for a fucking fact you were taught at least that much in school. So can you please do me the dignity of speaking like you're older than 12? Just asking. Cheers from Finland, though. Hey, cheers from Finland. Just came across this live. Whoa, is rage baiting some new trend of luring donations? What the heck is going on in this world? Cheers from Finland, though.
Like Red Bat, I think he probably, for the first time ever, should probably smoke weed because it might be the first time he might calm down and actually have a reflection on his life.
Yeah, for real. Just chill out. What's up, Casey? But yeah, no, for the Finland person, I'm not rage baiting. Literally, I'm not. Like, I'm not, like, there's nothing about me. Like, I dress like this. I look like this all the time. This is just me. There's nothing rage baity about it. Maybe some people find it a little rage baity that I'm a trans woman with a deep voice, but I really don't give a shit. You know, I've got some, like, edgy symbols in the back of my set, but frankly, if I were a cis woman sitting here in front of you, and I had a voice that reflected that, or a cis man sitting here, and I had a voice that reflected that, and a look that reflected that, nobody would be commenting on that shit. Nobody would care, or maybe some people would care, but certainly not as much as they care because I'm a trans woman. Right? It is this combination of factors which makes people perceive me as rage bait, even though there's actually nothing to rage at if you're a normal person. If you're a normal person who is not, you know, like devastatingly offended by symbols and people's gender expression and their choice of what to wear and shit, then you're not going to be rage baited. You know, like you're not going to, like you're going to scroll onto this live and either you'll think the things I'm talking about are interesting or you won't, but you certainly aren't going to be goaded into a comment. The only people who are goaded into comments because of the type of content I do here are bigots, morons, and Magas, basically, who are often a combination of the first two, just putting it out there. But that's pretty much the only people who are rage baited by my content. People who would be enraged at anything, openly queer, openly leftist, or transgressive in any way to their narrow-minded, square idea of how human beings should live their lives. Thank you, King Bugs, for the $20. I appreciate that a ton. It is, after all, audience members like you who are responsible for keeping this channel going and allowing me to do content full-time. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Again, King Bugs is a fucking goat.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible to rage bait people and just scroll on it and something to stay. I mean, honestly, Jesse, that's literally like how, or Jessica, like that's literally how I feel about this shit. Yeah, I mean, you know, including Phoebes too, I'm assuming. Yeah. Like, cause,
I mean, pretty much, like, you could just scroll away.
That butthurt,
right, like, if you're...
Yeah, like, if you're that butthurt about that shit, then it's like, move on.
If you're that worried about it, I ain't got you chained to the radiator, as Paul's always saying. I ain't got you chained to a radiator in my basement. You are not a captive of mine. You are free to leave this stream at any time if you're not a fan of it, which sucks. I'm going to be sad that I'm not convincing you to stick around on some level, but I'm also not really going to notice one individual person leaving, nor am I really going to care if some hateful person decides they don't want to watch me because I'm too queer for them or whatever. You know, good riddance to bad rubbish, I always say. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm currently chained. Dude, okay, somebody just made me laugh.
It's like, you don't have to, like,
Listen.
mention, like, oh, I'm leaving, blah, blah.
Listen.
Like, you can go whenever you want. You don't
Listen.
have to, like, announce it or nothing, you know what I mean?
Listen. Somebody just made me laugh. Okay, ban Matt, okay? I'm not saying he's right, but Matt just said, I'm chained to a radiator. I'm currently chained to a radiator. Ban that fuck, okay? He's spreading bullshit lies. Bullshit lies. Complete bullshit lies.
I'm literally chained to a radiator right now. I'm stoked, man. She loves my phone, and I found it, and I was able to grab it. She got me stuck out here, bro.
Ban Matt for these bullshit lies.
Oh my god.
Oh, that made me giggle. I live in the deep south. I don't even live in a place.
Right now. I feel like you kind of should be here for a minute. I don't know.
I don't even live. Listen, I don't even live in a. I don't even live in a place where radiators were ever installed regularly. Maybe they were installed at a certain point for buildings, but it doesn't really get cold enough down here for you to really need that kind of heating, usually.
Even where I goddamn live, like, radiators aren't that big of a fucking thing. I mean, like, older buildings, sure, but, like, even, like, from buildings from, like, the 90s onwards, not so much.
Yeah. They're pretty much only bound.
You might find, like, an all-ball building from, like, the 90s or 2000s that might have, like, an AC unit that was installed, even though, like, most buildings around here aren't really installed to that shit. Or maybe, like, modernized, retrofitted with them, but...
Yeah.
Not really a big thing out here.
Build like a Decepticon.
Should have done that.
Somebody just said, build like a Decepticon. What do Decepticons normally build? What do you want me to build? I'm not sure. Somebody else said, yeah, they watch her. Like, how the fuck is she poisoning? Yeah, like, I'm not a poison. I'm just a human being. You can watch me at your leisure, absorb the content if you want to, reject it if that's your choice. I've got no control over your psychology. Not any direct control, anyway.
Arguably, people like RFK Jr. were poisoning people, but not Phoebe.
Play guitar.
So I was just hanging out.
You know what? If we get past $100 in donations, I'll play the guitar. Are you wearing a dress? Actually, genuinely asking. No, this is just a blouse with a lacy top. When in your life did...
Speaking of music, I just remind myself of something. Like, I know
Huh?
you're not like the biggest, like, heavy music person, but there is a band that I think you might love to shit called Viagra Boys. They're from Sweden. I'm not gonna lie, like, literally any of their songs you might legit love. They're like kind of like a post-punk band where they're kind of punk, but like partly like the post-punk era of it a little bit. And I don't know why, but they have literally been like a listen constantly for like the last week or so for me, because they are just like that good.
Somebody in the chat said, was asking, when did I know I was trans? And I just want to tell him real quick. I've known I was trans since I knew that there was a word for it. I mean, I've functionally known that I was not, that there was no way that I was just a normal boy when I was like 5 years old. But I figured out the word transgender to describe a person like me. You know, a girl born in the wrong body, basically. A woman born in the wrong body, however you want to phrase it. A person who was assigned male at birth that later, you know, like, changes their mode of expression and is, like, openly living as a woman. And obviously, like, the converse. Once I figured that out, I have terminology to describe it. But I knew since probably the time I was 5, in broader terms. Anyway, sorry, Ignore.
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. Honestly, I mean, if you want to keep going, that's totally cool. I said what I want to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll see what the next chat is. Thank you, very interesting. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't have many memories from before I was 5, so maybe there were signs even then. I don't really know.
Honestly. I mean, honestly, I feel
Maybe.
like that, broader topic is a little more interesting anyway, because I always find, the journey of those who tend to be trans, like, very, not, like, in a weird way, but, like, just generally very, like, curious and interesting to me, because, like, I always find it fascinating about, like, people's journeys, just in general, and especially with those that are, like, quote-unquote, unorthodox, to the general norms of society. It's like, I really want to, like, learn, like, what really made that be, like, because that's just literally a part of human conditioning. That's just part of being a person and a human. Like, like, society for thousands of fucking years has been doing this shit and has evolved around this shit, but why is it suddenly a weird thing now, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't we always be curious about what that is, like, because there's never really a true inherent conformity. That always evolves. That always is an evolution when it comes to, like, constructs, whether it's gender, style, like, economic, political, whatever the fuck. Like, this is something that always evolves. And I always find that about a very fundamental, fascinating thing about humanity. And I always love trying to learn about, like, what makes people tick about switching things up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I always love that shit. I mean, because one of my first stories, I mean, not to go too further about it, I guess, but, like, one of my first stories about, like, really, truly understanding about, like, what being trans / like, gender non-conforming was actually hanging out with a non-binary person at a FurryCon. And me and my buddy were having drinks with, this person, hanging out, chatting it up. And they broadly were more female presenting, but they were non-conforming, were they them. And my buddy was like, yo, she's pretty cool as fuck. And she didn't give a shit. He didn't give a fuck. Oh my god, now I'm literally fucking up. But they didn't give a fuck. And saying that, like, oh, hey, this is just what my pronouns were, I'm non-binary, blah, blah. Didn't give a fuck. It was whatever. And if anything, we were like, oh shit, this is actually kind of a cool opportunity to talk with you more. What is this type of shit? And they were literally more than happy to be like,
thank you, Vegas Princess.
Here, grab another drink. In fact, you want me to buy you one? And in fact, the bartender kind of cut them off at that point and be like, you're a little too fucked up, but these guys are fine. You can buy their drinks, but you're having a water. I was like, oh. I felt a little bad for them, but I was just like, damn. I mean, but, like, we kept chatting for, like, another 30 minutes about just that shit in general, and it was just such an eye-opening, awesome experience of knowing, like, you're just a chill-ass motherfucker, basically, you know what I mean? Like, you're just a person, and I never, like, had a weird idea about, like, oh, trans people, this, that, or weird. Like, I never had that, but it was good to be more informed, because I didn't know, like, and shocker, and the whole root of it, especially, is that just having a conversation with people like this, realize is that, like, it's always, something, like, as a broader construct of society, and every person is just a cool motherfucker if you actually got a chance to talk with them. Maybe you might not like find every person, exceptions to the rule after all.
You're stoned, ain't you, Ignar?
I guarantee you are gonna chill.
You're stoned as shit, ain't you, Ignar?
More of a crossfade.
That's okay. That, you know what? That explains everything. I don't have, no further comment.
A little boozy, and then I did a stream being boozy, and I was like, oh shit, wrap it up. You started one. I'm already boozy. I'm like,
Then you still had more to say. Dude, that's what's wild about you. That's why I think that, with the better audio equipment and a better setup on both of our ends, I think that you could be an interesting regular co-host for the show, because you never run out of things to say. So, like, I can just literally, like, walk away, and you'll just,
just have some shit. Have something locked in.
We're all weird? That's true. Cheers to that.
Fucking I'm about to smoke. But yeah, cheers to that shit right there. Amen.
Cheers, sister. Oh my god, the sound of that is so fucking exaggerated. That's insane. That's crazy.
I literally did put it up against the mic.
Well, it worked. That was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Open for that. Oh, open for that.
What the... Dude, somebody just made me laugh. What the fuck is this type of alien? I'm the Phoebe alien. I'm gonna get ya. Sorry.
Dude, watching your stream delayed with the Discord like shit is so fucking hilarious. Oh my god, I'm fucking dying over here.
I'm great, ain't I? Ain't I the best? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Baby, my heart's on fire. Send me my heart by wire. If you refuse me, honey, you'll lose me, and I'll have to go. So, honey, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
Don't be giving me into ragtime tunes.
I might be a little crossfaded as well, I ain't gonna lie. Best channel on YouTube? I don't know about that.
Aiming, go to Palestine. Maybe we would.
I'd go to Palestine. Fuck it. I'd go to Palestine. I'd go to Palestine. I'd do a food bank over in Palestine. That's what I'd do. But I'd probably get killed by the IOF.
Yeah, the IDF will literally just drone strike us.
Yeah.
The first, yeah.
That's the thing, dude. Like, that's the thing, man. I think about every time one of these, like, Gaza flotillas happens, I think about trying to hook up with a community here in America that's participating. And every fucking time, I pretty much, every time so far, I've not been able to, like, feasibly see a way to make it happen. But every time, I've also been glad that I didn't, because, like, the last time it happened, a bunch of those people ended up getting kidnapped and held for weeks. Some of them raped and tortured.
What's her name? Fuck, I forgot her name. Like the big climate advocate woman. Fuck, I hate that. I'm literally forgetting
Greta Thunberg.
Hop in my tongue.
Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg, yes, yeah, because she was a part of that too, and she was kidnapped, and even Ben-Gvir was like there while she was held hostage, like practically, like borderline, like socially and psychologically tortured her.
Yep.
And she even admitted, like, yeah, they literally psychologically and not overtly, but did kind of physically torture us too a little bit. Maybe not to the same extent as like the Palestinians and the death camps and shit, but yeah, they did that. Yeah. As like pretty much as like a warning, essentially, if anything.
Multiple big algo spikes this stream. I know, right? Isn't that nice, Danbot? Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. I did offer to play you guys some music on the guitar if you guys get us up to a certain percentage, or get us not percentage, but get us past $100. One needs $100. Wait, I wish I could remember that whole YTP. Do you remember that YouTube poop that the Drunken Peasants used to play sometimes, where it's like Brett Keane talking about a bunch of shit, and one of the things is where he's like, Friedrich Nietzsche had $100. I would like very much to have a lot of wonderful sex with atheists. I need $100. One needs $100.
One of the few things I do remember back in the day. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, oh my god, yeah, you did kind of untap a unlocked memory that I haven't had in a minute.
I remember every.
A lot of memories of TP era where I'm like, I don't really remember until just like suddenly there's something that just reminds me of that, and I'm like, oh my god, I had that memory.
Do you remember the Galen episode where he was roasting?
Right now. I was like, whoa, shit! I haven't seen that YouTube poop in a fucking minute.
Do you remember the glorious felting of Egghead by Galen?
have never actually seen that. And maybe I have, but maybe I've seen clips. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never seen.
Let me put it this way: Paul had to come to fucking Egghead of all people's defense because Galen was going at him so hard, and Egghead seemed like he was at the point of tears. So Paul was like, "Man, why are you roasting him like a stuck pig, dude?" Huh?
It's cool. Yeah, I was about to say, like, I do kind of vaguely remember this a little bit, because, like, wasn't this, like, well after, Egghead was trying to go to, like, a meetup, and then he bitched out about it, and he, like, left or something, and then, I think, something like that, and then shortly after this happened, and then Paul literally had to be like, you know what, keep it beside, quit fucking on him so hard, pretty much, you know, like, I do kind of vaguely remember that happening at one point.
Right.
Like,
I remember it.
Like, Egghead actually even that bad of a dude, because I have actually generally talked to him, like, once or twice before, and he's actually pretty chill as fuck, you know, like, he don't really necessarily deserves a rap that he gets.
I think he's done some things that were kind of shitty in the past, but I don't think he's done anything that's unredeemable. Sure, yeah. You know, I don't think he's done anything that's unredeemable. So I don't look at him as like some kind of horrible guy or whatever. He's done some things that I personally wouldn't have done, that I couldn't make any sense of if I tried, like leaving the DFF meetup early, or not taking Paul up on the offer of a ride, instead soliciting not even his own fan base for that, but like, I don't know, that all of that shit has always struck me as kind of a little scummy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not, but it's like, it's nothing.
Kind of what made him so, like, of an antagonistic, like, not really villain, but like an easy to make fun of person for DP for a while, especially because like he flaked out and kind of bitched out on a lot of shit where he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, I'm gonna be there, but then it's like, nah, you kind of literally flaked in every fucking way, because you like made every excuse under the sun to not like go to that. It's like, bruh, it's not like you didn't have money, it's not like you didn't have time because you had work or this and that. Like, you literally were just like, nah, I'm just kind of scared about it or something. It's like, bro, come on, dude.
Which one was this? Which one was this?
I think it was definitely a DP meetup.
Oh, okay.
It was like 2017-ish about.
Because I remember there was one.
Paul talked about it a lot before.
There was one that he went to. There was one that he went to, but he didn't stay at for very long. He like went to it, met the guys, that hung out for like 10 minutes and left. But if there's one that he said he was going to and then just flaked out on, then I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember which one he totally flaked out on. I think the one he showed up to was like the quote makeup of that, I think. I just don't remember the time frame of this shit, to be honest. But I know that he showed up for like the tiniest little portion for a meetup, and then there's one other time where he totally flaked on it. Like, so, like, I don't remember though entirely.
But my whole point.
He just had shit happening where he just generally just could not make that, and he was trying to amp it up so hard. I don't know. Like, I will give the benefit of doubt to him to an extent, because I don't know. I mean, he's not like a locale in the sense of like, you know, being like, you know, breaking or some shit. He's kind of a chill dude if you actually kind of, you know, chat with him and stuff. And yeah, a little weird, a little quirky, every so often, you know, when it comes to being a little weird or whatever the fuck. And it's had its problems in the past, but who gives a shit? Like, he's a cool dude. I like him. I really generally like him a lot. I mean, he's a cool ass guy.
My thing is, like, you know, I just wanted to say, like, I don't think he's, like, a shitty person for the things that we've talked about tonight. Not necessarily. Like, I think that those are shitty things to do, but I think that people can make all kinds of different mistakes, some of which make more sense than others, and, you know, maybe there is some kind of reasonable explanation that I would understand if it were given to me. I have no idea. It's just one of those things, like, he's one of those people that I'm not, like, with Paul, you know, I kind of feel like I know enough about Paul to be like, yeah, you know what? I really fucking hate a lot of the people that shit on Paul, and I will defend his honor in one of those instances, so to speak. But when it comes to Egghead, you know, like, my perception of him is, from what he seems like a cool dude that's probably made some mistakes and might be a shitty person, but it's hard for me to tell, so I reserve judgment. I don't usually talk about Egghead, other than to say that time he got roasted by Galen was probably pretty miserable, and, you know, I hope he had a better day after that.
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, because I'm kind of the same way a little bit. Like, because I haven't really thought about a kid outside of the stream, you know, in like years. The last time I thought about it actually was one of my mods, Matt Shapirion, because he actually was kind of a buddy of his for a little bit, and you know, like would hang out and talk with him and stuff on Discord communities and shit. I'm just, oh shit. I'm like, all right, you're actually kind of close to like some of the grapevine of different people I used to just, you know, listen to while I'm working or some shit. You know, when it came to DP or DFF and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool as hell.
Yeah.
And learn a little bit more extra details and stuff, you know?
Yeah. I gotta run and use the bathroom again, but I will be right back. Feel free to entertain the chat in my absence.
Oh, for sure. I'm actually living on a stream, so I will look at the chat and see what is happening on. What's up, everybody? How we all doing? That really should kind of piss me off, psychologically. I kind of agree with you. Organized religion especially. I mean, I will say, there are definitely people that, I don't besmirch the fact that they have, like, a broader, like, spiritual/religious belief system, but I'm not going to, like, say, religion cool. Because, yeah, your organized religion and the organized belief system that founded that shit that you might have your own thing going on with, like, ain't gonna agree with that. Sorry. But, hey, what you got going on specifically, all good. I'm cool with that. Hey, Ron, we scared the beast away. Oh, did you? Did you, though? Are you sure there's not a sniper in the background? Can we see what's going to happen for 4 days when our gas reserves run out because of Trump? Oh, my God. Oh, God. Well, I'll say this much. China's basically going to, like, eat our lunch. I'll say that much. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. That is a reminder of, like, oh, yeah, that's the world we're living in now. Oh, Lord have mercy, I will say. With her as an expect your decision to call her/him, just graduated from college, something like that. Wait, I think I might miss a little context. Oh, here we go. Exactly 100% of our daughters, her/him, and choose to support her and everything, regardless. Oh, hell yeah. Good shit.
Robert.
I dig that.
Robert.
Robert.
I built a missile, Robert.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna launch that into North Carolina? You can't be building missiles out of nowhere, Robert, man. Marcus, you can't be doing that, man.
I have built an intercontinental ballistic missile, Robert.
Marcus, you can't be building nuclear missiles just for the hell of it.
I plan to give them to unstable dictatorships across the world.
Oh God, Marcus. The global economy is about to unravel. If you do that, do you just want to see chaos upon the world, Marcus?
Stop yelling at me. All right, Ignar. What's up?
Entering the chat.
Yeah. It sounded like you might have been having a conversation with Marcus. What was that about?
About prices of oil and gas about to like skyrocket and shit. Yeah, there was somebody that brought that up, and I was like, oh god, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Oh.
In my existential,
all right.
I was like, oh yeah, that's a reality. Oh yeah, that's happening. that's gonna be a thing.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you guys covered the bases. Let's check back in with the chat. Disgusting. Ew. What's wrong, baby girl? What's wrong? What's so bad? What are you frustrated with? What's got you in a tizzy?
Oh, Lovis, you are a cute little sweet pea, aren't you?
It was announced yesterday we have 41 days left of gas reserve. That is actually probably a good thing because it's high time that Americans experience the rest of the fucking oil pain that the rest of the world has been feeling. So once like the oil prices and the gas prices therefore have to reflect an absence of a stockpile that's being slowly released by the federal government. Yeah, and they probably won't. Like, I bet when it reaches 31 days, they will probably shut off releases from the strategic reserve. And at that point, yeah, you're going to see gas prices start to go up and up and up and up and up and up and up as long as the Saran war continues.
And it's already, like, so bad as it is. And I will say, as a little bit of my personal prediction, is that China, for a moment, was trying to withhold, like, oil and fossil fuel consumption for a bit to help, like, stabilize the broader global economy. And now they're at this point, they're like, nah, fuck that, actually. We're going to consume as much as possible despite our broader renewable energy priorities on the virtue of, like, to accelerate America's collapse. They literally are betting on it now. They literally are like, oh, we're about to be the global superpower. Most of the world is looking at us economically, diplomatically, for deals and trades and all this other shit. Instead of America, they're trying to get off the U.S. dollar and go to the yuan now at this point. And it's like, you know what? America deserved it. We legit deserve that bullshit. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, honestly. I legit think it's a good thing. I want that to happen at this point. Like, China deserves to be, like, the superpower of the fucking world at this point. Because, like, with how America's been going, it's like, nah, this is bullshit. Like, they deserve it. They need to be the fucking, you know, red sun of the sky at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
That's literally like how I feel about it now at this point. Let the fucking rising red sun, you know, show up in the sky at this point.
Let the eagle soar like she's never soared before, from rocky coast to shining shore. Let the mighty eagle soar. I thought that was actually a pretty good John Ashcroft impression, actually.
That was good.
Let the mighty eagle soar. You have to really do the exaggerated vibrato.
Let the eagle soar.
Okay, Ignar. All right. Dude, I can't wait to take the train up to Seattle. That shit's gonna be fucking wild.
Oh my god, dude. That shit's gonna be so fucking lit.
So I kind of have a proposition. Ignar.
One night.
Ignar. Do you have income?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I figured, because you usually be working.
I'm a working man.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so here's my fucking question. How interested are you in paying, like, I would have to look into, I think I would have to look up the numbers, but like $200, we'll say, to stay in an Airbnb with me and Kenny up in Seattle proper, nearby the meetup?
That's doable. Actually, that probably would be weirdly a little bit more feasible than just having a straight up hotel. Or just, or some shit. So, honestly, that's doable.
Yeah, I mean, if you should think about it, because if you do it, Kenny already said that I can do that, and, like, that would be a good opportunity for us to have plenty of time to hang out and shit. Doesn't mean we couldn't still, like, if you wanted to, maybe, like, go down to fucking Portland and visit with your roommate or whatever, but, like, we could still, like, it doesn't mean you couldn't show me around Portland in theory, because I'm gonna be there from, like, midday Thursday to, like, end of day Sunday. So, that's gonna be a lot of time.
You got, you got, like, a night or two out there. All right.
I've got, like, a night...
because if anything...
I've got, like, all...
Don't say, like,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've got all of Thursday night, basically. I've got all of Friday until the meetup, and then I've got all of Saturday and all of Saturday night to do whatever the fuck I please, and then most of Sunday. So, like, I've got a schedule that's, like, pretty accommodating. I'm gonna be on the train for 3 days there and 3 days back to do that, but,
Yeah. Well, I'll say, maybe not like, the night before, arguably, but I think, we could probably, swing by a time where you can hang out for Portland, for at least a full night, for sure. Because I will say, like, especially checking out some really cool spots, I mean, it takes kind of a full night to really check out some cool places around here.
Well, then maybe that's what we do Thursday night.
There's a lot of different spots, but, I mean, it just kind of depends on the vibe, too, and also the day, because some places got, like, karaoke, there's some places that got other shit going on, there's all sorts of things that might be happening, so, depending on what day you happen to show up, there might be a lot of cool stuff happening.
If you guys want to...
And there's still plenty of awesome fucking places to check out.
If you guys want to fund my fucking going to Seattle budget, by the way, I do appreciate every dollar and dime I make in donations, and you guys are what enables me to continue making content like this and to fund cool-ass trips, like vacations, basically, which is something I've never been able to have, guys. Never in my life. Until I started doing this for a living, and I developed a cool audience of people that are willing to contribute through memberships, super chats, Cash App donations, which you can find down below in the description. I get those instantly, and there's no fee. Just saying. You guys are the ones who enable me to do that, and I cannot stress how grateful I am for that. And I just want to remind, if you've got a little extra money burner hole in your pocket, that is one of the options that you have to continue the production of this kind of thing, and the continuation of this community. Sorry, ignore. I had to shill.
No, you're all good. As I was just about to say, I'm going to go back real quick and be right back, so...
Alright.
I'll be back in like a minute or two.
Alright. Do you want marriage and kids? Marriage, not really. No. Maybe under some definitions of marriage. Do I want marriage in the sense that I would, like, eventually like to have, like, a main partner that I grow old with? Yeah, sure. And I would like to be able to make medical decisions for them if they should fall ill and not be able to make those decisions for themselves. But I wish that didn't come with all of the weird legal ramifications that marriage comes with should two people end up not working out. And all the bureaucracy that comes with it as well seems pretty unnecessary. So I think it depends maybe on how you define marriage. As far as kids, I already have a kid, and one is enough for me. I mean, if I eventually get with somebody that's got kids of their own, I think I'll be well equipped for it, and I would be fine with that. But, having lived through one baby stage, I think that's enough for me personally. The sky is green because I feel like it. That sounds like a pretty absurd belief, honestly. So let's talk biology since you want to act smart but play stupid. Who? You're not talking to me. Okay. I guess simple facts make them feel smart until it comes to male and female. Male and female is not like an accurate way of describing the social dynamics that gender exists within and that gender describes. I don't know if you're just now learning that, but yeah, sex and gender are different things. I commented before to them, LOL, I'm sorry, yeah. It's a social construct, Lamau. You can say Lamau, but that's not actually an argument. Gender is not entirely a social construct. It's obviously biologically informed by a lot of processes that some of which we understand really well and some of which we don't understand almost at all. It's also informed by group dynamics and cooperative dynamics and all kinds of different things. But like to pretend that it's not on some level a social construct is to ignore the history of gender expression. Even within this country, gender expression has changed immensely over the last 150 years.
You know, animals have male, female, and funny thing about those, so I guess it's somewhat Lindsay, also, there's plenty of different animals that also have legit, like, organic, biological ways of even transitioning, too.
Not only that.
Fish and lizards and reptiles and stuff that literally will, like, due to various different circumstances, will organically just be like, well, I'm female now. Well, I'm male now.
Somebody.
On the verge of like, oh, well, there's literally not enough of this or that or whatever the fuck. You know, literally various different environmental circumstances where animals will legit biologically do that naturally.
Someone in chat said, you sound like the other live feed I just saw where people don't recognize as humans that we're omnivores and not herbivores. What is with it, you all people feeling basic in science? You are apparently the one who missed the basics in science when your science textbook said that most women have vaginas, that most men have penises. There's a reason it didn't say all. And that's because gender and sex are different things. Gender is a lot more complicated than what you have between your legs or what your what your chromosome type is. And you do not have the ability to karyotype someone by looking at them. Nor do you have the ability to see through their clothes and know what kind of genitalia they have. So please spare me the histrionics.
30% of mammals can switch gender if the population is dwindling. It's not just mammals, though. There's reptiles and other beings and species that
Birds.
can do that. But even then, like, hey, aren't humans part of that too? Even though we literally can't physically do that, like, obviously our brains are capable of feeling and transitioning in that way.
Yeah,
so
like,
why we exempt from that? You know, just because maybe we haven't evolved to literally just somehow naturally transition or some shit, you know, like unlike other animals have. Maybe certain evolutionary prerequisites did not allow that for
not only that,
as a primate human ape.
Not only that. Not only that.
Plenty of other animals that evolutionary trait was there.
Not only that, but if people want to act like it's, even if there were no other animals that did gender transition in the way that human beings gender transition, you know what else no other fucking animal does? Believe in a
self-reflect
God.
and have
Believe in a God.
that.
Believe in a God.
Yeah.
Follow an organized religion. Install air conditioning in their homes. Light their homes at night with artificial lighting. I can think of a dozen fucking things that animals outside of human beings do not ever do. That doesn't make any of them any less legitimate. That doesn't make any of them any less real. And that doesn't make anyone who happens to use any of those technologies or any of those advancements any less of a person because they do so. That's just absurd. Literally, patently absurd. There are many different types of animals on this planet. The giraffe is the tallest land animal. The tallest animal in general, I guess. You've got the blue whale as the largest animal overall. You've got the cheetah as the fastest animal at a clip. You've got, the parrot as the animal capable of speaking the most words. And then you've got human beings, and we're the smartest animal. And that enables us to do a lot of things, include introspect at a level deep enough to realize that gender and sex exist on a spectrum, and to contemplate the meanings of those things, and to, in some cases, like many of the purveyors of the society we live in today, to want to oppress other people on the basis of their gender identity. We have these thoughts because we are an animal that is uniquely endowed with a gift of overdriving consciousness that dominates our social arrangements and how we look at other people, and like the very way that we think about problems and think about our lives. And to ignore that, or to downplay the advancements or learning that we've been able to do about our own condition, is to deny science in a way that feels to me as fundamental as pretending as though air conditioning doesn't work because it's not something that nature makes, or pretending that air conditioning is demonic because it's not something that nature creates, or pretending that television is demonic because it's not something that nature makes, pretending that comic books are something demonic because it's not something that nature makes. All of these things seem to me equally flawed. Oh, I'm going to have to get off here pretty soon and record this video.
And that was a comment that actually kind of put a pin on that animals have religion and seeing motherfuckers for real horses gather around another, like a meeting. I've literally seen that with plenty of animals myself. I don't think that's a religion. I think that's because animals inherently, broadly, tend to usually, more often than not always, but usually are social creatures. They deserve, they need any kind, deserve this sense of social interaction, and these, species obviously will hang out and interact a lot. I've literally seen, like, chickadee birds, like, once, where they're called, like, this black band chickadee bird, where they're like this little chickadee where they have, like, little white heads, but, like, a little black band around their eyes and around their head. Almost kind of like a little bandit or something. I've literally seen, like, a dozen or so of these little guys on, like, a little squirrel platform I used to have at my old house, just literally in a circle with one of them in the center, and that one in the center was chirping a bunch, and every so often, like, one or two of the other ones surrounding that little circle would, like, chirp up a little bit, and then the main one in the center would start chirping a bunch. It literally was like a council of the chickadees. I literally remember that moment literally as the memory of the council of the chickadees, because it was like chickadee birds literally as a council just talking whatever weird bird politics that they were talking about. Like, I mean, it's cool as fuck, but it ain't no religion, it ain't no, like, complex shit like we're doing as humans, but nonetheless, I mean, it's a part of that, because that's just a part of being an animal. I mean, humans aren't no different from that.
I mean, it may be it may be some kind of primitive animal spirituality. It may be some kind of, it may be the beginnings.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It may be some kind, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I'm very reticent to say what it is. What I can say is that they don't do organized religion. Organized religion is a distinct concept that only human beings can be said to do, accurately 100%, because organized religion means to have clergy. Horses do not have clergy. Monkeys do not have clergy. No other animal has clergy, or anything you could even make similar to that, really. Some of them have tribal leaders and stuff, but like even in that case, it's not. It's still a very different thing. So like organized religion and this idea that you've got this hierarchy and superstructure between layperson and cleric, and you've got people leading it from the top or by council or whatever. That is, as far as we know, only seen in human beings, doctrine and all this stuff, right? Part of organized religion is doctrine, and in order to have doctrine, you've got to have writing, or you've got to have oral tradition, which requires language, really complex language. But in my opinion, it requires writing. I think that it's probable that writing emerged before we think it did. But, and I've heard other people that actually have degrees in this shit say the same thing. Like, I think it's probable that writing emerged earlier than, like, the earliest evidence of writing we have. It's just, like, how much earlier, we really don't have any way to know. Humans could have been communicating what was effectively written knowledge to themselves at a later date, or to other tribes, or to other descendants or whatever, in ways that just did not get preserved very well for centuries, thousands of years maybe even, before people figured out how to write on clay tablets that happened to get preserved. And that is a feature that no other animal has.
As a fucking lily. Facts and truth have been spoken by peeps. Not gonna lie, you literally are kind of reminding me of this really awesome song that's called Troglodyte by the Viagra Boys. Because, like, the lyrics of that really is kind of strangely prominent of what you're talking about a little bit. It's a really awesome fucking song, honestly. I mean, I want to see if I can look up the lyrics real quick, just because it's just pretty badass. Oh. I found it. Sweet. Also, like, one of my favorite parts was in verse 2. When everybody was a monkey, we had to fight to just survive. And now you got yourself a weapon. You think you choose your lizard dies. But when we had hairy legs and legs, or your soul swimming around in a lake, yeah, your soul just a troglodyte. You just evolved a bit too late. You ain't no ape. You're just a troglodyte. I mean, it's a pretty awesome, like, little fucking song. I mean, because it goes a lot with, especially when it comes to things like being treated the lack of knowledge and shit. Like, it's a really kind of awesome little song, especially for, like, a little post-punk band from Sweden, too. They're pretty badass, I will say. Like, they're definitely worth fucking listening to. You know, absolutely, in the sense of just all their little weird little edgy, humoristic lyrics, especially.
Righteous. Have you been washed in the blood of the Lamb, Ignar? Have you been washed in the blood of the Lamb, boy?
Always have been, every day as I birth my awakening.
That didn't make no goddamn sense.
Every time I awaken, me birthing a new day, I'm always washing that blood. I tell you what.
You're making even less sense as you go on. I'm beginning to think you ain't never been washed in the blood of Christ.
Probably am.
What kind of godless heathen am I talking to on this live stream?
Oh, and the most godless of all the
You telling
heathens.
me you ain't never been saved?
I've never been saved once, goddammit. I did once and I rejected I didn't realize what I was getting into. I didn't understand the contract when it happened.
Well, you know what that means. That means the devil has your soul.
Goddamn right.
Dude, I can't help it. I'm smiling throughout this whole bit. I can't help it. I'm smiling through. I'm smiling throughout this whole bit because I can't take people who talk like that seriously. But I wish I could, like, I should try and voice some characters like that. Maybe I should get into animated work or something. Because I feel like I could make some pretty funny jokes if only I could conceal my smile. You know? Ah, shit.
I feel the same. I know I could definitely do some pretty good, like, voice actor work if I really just try to, like, be serious with it instead of just be silly Billy with it. Because, I mean, I got the Trump impersonation, I got, like, an RFK one, I got, like, the Joe Biden one. I got, like, impersonations, you know, especially with, like, you know, bigger, like, politician types and shit, but it's like, shit. I need to kind of expand it and actually make it a little bit more proper and stuff, I will admit.
There isn't such thing as pronouns. That's retarded. I is a pronoun. He is a pronoun. She is a pronoun. He went to the store.
They have pronouns.
He.
Like, Lily.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Wow. Jesus Christ. That is actually, I don't even know. Wow. Someone doesn't even, you know, no one graduated 101 English in first grade. Oh god.
We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. Red alert. Red alert. We're cooked. We're fucking barbecue chicken. We're fucking barbecue chicken, dude. There's no hope. 60% of Americans read at or below a fucking 6th grade level. We're so fucking cooked, man. We're so fucking cooked, dude. God, man, people don't even understand the basic rules of grammar anymore.
But then shit like this makes me think, nah.
I gotta step outside for a minute. I'll be right back. I gotta fucking... You entertain the chat. I quit. I gotta step outside for a minute.
I don't disagree with you. I feel you. I will say, I will probably hate myself, but also my OG phone is really going haywire again because my rafting trip literally sprayed water all over it, and the screen is now being weird again. And I was literally fingers crossed hoping I didn't have to worry about this shit again, and now it literally went crazy again. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm literally looking at a blank screen. I cannot see anything. How am I supposed to wrap this up? What the fuck? I guess I just hope that Phoebes just leaves the fucking shit, I guess, or whatever, when she ends. I don't know, bro. This is fucked. I happen to get a fucking phone upgrade tomorrow. Like, this is ridiculous. Especially when I literally can't fucking see shit, and, well, now I'm here myself. Oh, that's awesome. Because I'm using the other phone to fucking at least read the chat. Insane. How the fuck is this phone still working, honestly? Like, I'm honestly shocked that it literally is still somehow working. This is ridiculous. I can tell that my screen literally wants to try to fucking turn on, but it just literally refuses. Oh my god. Well, this is ridiculous.
You weren't even able to respond to the chat because, like, your screen wouldn't turn on?
Yeah, well, Essence, because I have a Wi-Fi phone that I've been using as like my backup, because my main phone got a little waterlogged, and now the screen is really going full retard mode, and it's just dead. It died again, even though I thought, fingers crossed, it was going to be fine. So, yeah, I'm fucked, pretty much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, luckily, do qualify for a free upgrade with my service provider. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm just gonna get a new phone at this point because this is just ridiculous. At least it's only for a night, but still ridiculous. I literally can't see what's going on anymore on the phone, even though I'm still talking to you. Somehow this phone's still on, but the screen is just like, nah, we're done. We're done working.
That is insane. I don't know. That's fucking crazy. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, how, I don't know, maybe I'll just have to kick you out of the channel when we're done.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I was literally saying to the chat while you were gone for a minute, being like, yeah, you might just have to literally kick me out. Because I am probably, gonna grab some food in here in a bit, get some C's, because I am gonna be helping out my buddy with his girlfriend tomorrow with some paint and shit. So, yeah, I ain't gonna stay for too much longer, but I was hoping that I can just do it on my own accord instead of whatever the fuck this bullshit is. But, say la vie, folks.
C'est la vie. Sorry, I'm gonna start working on this script that I'm refining down to its final stages.
No, you're good.
But yeah, we can continue talking and stuff while I work, and I'll continue reading the chat and shit. So bullying her will help. When has that ever worked? What, Wisconsin Monique? What is your problem? Like, for real though. Like, what is your actual fucking problem? He's not bullying anything. She only saw one of his comments. He's been sitting here letting us pick on him the whole time, crying his feelings. Yeah, exactly. I'm barely even paying attention to the chat at this point. At this point, I'm literally transitioning to, like, working on my script for a video I'm about to record. And y'all are just, like, ravaging this person that's trying to troll me, but failing miserably. I'll read out some chats and I'll let you respond to them. A human that can grow a placenta, how's that as a definition for woman?
That's just as much as a woman as anyone else that wants to identify as one. I mean, what the fuck? That's a little weird. Like, for such a very specifically detailed way of describing that shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh yeah, like, pregnant woman, like, that makes sense, but like, that's a little extra.
What about a woman in menopause? Okay, a woman in menopause can't grow a placenta either. A woman that was born with Meyer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser syndrome often can't grow a placenta. Are we just gonna throw them out?
Yep. Including, like, sterile women that can't, like, give birth or have pregnancies and shit, that ain't gonna happen. They're just gonna go for the natural, like, period process stuff, right? Like, so that ain't gonna be there either. So, like, what about those women? Oh, they just don't count? Like, give me a break. That's just stupid. That's ridiculous.
It is. It's patently ridiculous.
That is such a weird comment to post there, my guy.
What was it again? Read it out.
Your Honor, I didn't commit domestic violence on a woman.
Huh?
That's such a random thing to just say out of nowhere, bro.
Your Honor, I didn't commit domestic violence on a woman. Huh? Who? What? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Why, where, when, who?
What? What now?
I think the chat is literally just kind of went raw mode. I think that's what happened. I think the chat lost the plot.
I think the chat is spurging out 100%. Sounds like copium. Sounds like a person who's incapable of making an argument, Wisconsin Monique. You're the one coping. You're talking about what we're doing to cope. You're literally like the cope meister in this chat.
Especially, like, when you haven't really made a cohesive argument about shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy's just literally just trolling. Oh my god. It's literally all one word, like, and weirdly, like.
Trans is a mental illness? Oh, okay. That's not what the DSM-5 says.
And I think whatever you got going on is probably more of a mental illness, considering that it literally is all one word and, like, really capitalized in such a weird, fucked way that it's, like, damn near indescribable. And I literally had to think so hard to see what the fuck you were even saying. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, huh?
Like, my guy, have you ever heard of English? Have you ever learned it, my friend?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think they have. What is that sound? Very weird. Sorry. Not you. It's something...
I honestly thought it was on my end, but I was like, wait, I hear nothing. I was like, oh shit.
I hear some kind of weird, like... And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Anyway. This is what happens if you eat too much processed foods. What, you get fat? Yeah. It's among, you know, other causes.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, like people who are thicker have maybe potentially like other factors that happen with that. It's not just like Americanized fast food bullshit. It's not as simplistic as that. In fact, I also know plenty of people that eat fast food like more regularly and are like the most skinniest motherfuckers I've ever met. So maybe it's not just processed foods as causation of shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I claim to have won Iran 30 times. Well, Iran won against us like 30 plus times. But yeah, America don't want to admit that. Even the mainstream media don't even want to admit that shit. But finish the rest of the roll, bro. Oh my god, it's so fucking ridiculous. This phone literally is like a green bar.
Maga claims to have won...
At the very top and nothing else. I was like, damn it, I was hoping to maybe like have a screen to get out or something.
Hold on. Somebody said Maga claims to have won Iran 30 times, lol. They claim to win Iran like every like Friday or so. Like, what is it? Every Monday? Or every Friday, like depending on when exactly they want the market to crash and how they want it to go. Like they say, oh, we've won Iran, we've made major progress, we've made major strides, and we're proud to say that we're about to be seeing a big benefit to all of this war making. And then, you know, come to find out that nothing of the sort is true.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying from earlier, because even like Iran legitimately is like won, you know, this broader war like 30 plus different times versus America.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just kind of the fucking truth.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I agree. That's just the truth. And the truth will set you free is what I hear. The truth will set you free. That le truth.
But I wish I can out myself, but literally my phone I have you on a call with is literally just giving me like a tiny little green bar at the top of my screen, and literally just giving me nothing else because my phone got waterlogged on routing and it's all fucked. So I'm just like, shit. It was working so good up until like 5 minutes ago.
I'm so sorry. Do you need to go?
I got to be too fat. Yeah, I was gonna grab a little food and wrap it up myself, but
I
just,
mean,
you know, do it on my own terms. But I guess I have to get kicked out.
yeah. Do you need me to like move you to the AFK channel?
I guess for now. I mean, eventually I'll be like kicked out of there when my phone dies, whatever the fuck. I mean, because I can't even tell what charge is on right now. Like, I have nothing for my phone screen. It's really just like a weird green bar at the very top of it. I'm just like, bruh.
I'm so shocked it's even still working. That's fucking insane. Think about how much of your phone must still be working for this to still be working.
I know, like, how is everything working, but now the screen is just dead again? And
Yeah.
It was actually generally good for a while, and then all of a sudden it went like crazy, like 90s TV static, like mode. And then
Alright.
it went black. And I was like,
Do you have any last words for my chat?
to subscribe, love, share, and donate to the feeds. And also maybe check out my shit on it. Keep up beyond that. You know, nothing else. You know, just send all the love to our good peoples.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for
and,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
no,
much, honestly,
definitely.
pretty much about it. Just send all that good loves, good vibes, and good vibes to my phone. Hopefully it revives itself.
Hopefully, maybe it'll die and then it'll come back on when you charge it and it'll be just fine. Hopefully you won't have to get a new phone.
Kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, it's still kind of in this
Rice.
little, like, probably got waterlogged bullshit still.
Rice.
I might just have to, like, set it somewhere where the sun will just
Rice.
irradiate it with that.
Rice is your friend.
I did try that earlier, and apparently one of my buddies said that's actually, like, the worst thing you can do for it. So I'm not sure if that's, like, some weird, like, wine mom Karen Facebook.
Dude, I've
I've always done it, and it's like it works, so I don't know.
I've done
I
it.
don't even know what it means anymore.
Fucking, I've done it and it worked, so I don't know. But in any case, thank you, Ignar. I will see you later. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. And I'm sorry I have to sound like this. Yep. Shall old acquaintance be forgot and never thought upon? Shall old acquaintance be forgot in the days of old Lang Syne? Alright, there we go. Sweet, okay. Alright, I moved Ignar out, and then I, moved myself. I fucking booted myself out of the chat, so there we go. Okay. Okay. Hey, Patrick Gooley. Mr. Manatee. Oh, yeah, what's your situation, individuals? My situation is that I got some Chinese food waiting on me inside. Just as soon as I get done with this script writing situation. Get done recording a video. Unlike Brett Keene's stupid fat ass, I actually fucking write a script and record a video sometimes when I'm feeling like I want to do a piece of solid content. I don't bounce all my thoughts off an AI to build everything that is me. My flags are demisexual, panromantic, and polyamorous. Hell yeah. Demisexual, panromantic, polyamorous. Oh my god. Yeah, same. Well, pan-romantic with a leaning towards femmes, I would say, but pan-romantic generally. Although, I don't know if I can fairly say I'm demisexual. I think that, like, I'm definitely way more into someone that I'm, like, into someone sexually if I'm into them for, like, other reasons on top of that. But I can definitely get turned on by a complete and perfect stranger sometimes. So, I don't know. I guess I can't cite that label, but... Sapphic too, in that I'm attracted to feminine people regardless of gender. Yeah, there we go. I relate, yes. Hey Phoebe, if you played N64 titles like some 64 MP1-3, what? No, I don't know what that is. That being said, I prefer the bi flag because I'm not a fan of yellow. Me too. The bi flag is pretty. It looks like a sunset, doesn't it? I love it when the colors of the sunset make a bi flag. Usually only lasts for like 10 minutes. I like Super Mario 64. Yeah. Yeah, I played Super Mario 64. Who hasn't? Who my age, anyway. I guess young kids and shit probably ain't, but... Old heads. If I cook you some shawarmas, will you eat them? I mean... Under certain circumstances, I would. Yeah, I like shawarma. I would want to, like, get to know a motherfucker first before eating their food, unless I was, like, eating it at a restaurant or something. But, in general, maybe. Can I DM on Insta because the Discord link doesn't work in the version of YT Live? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you can DM on Insta. Yeah. I've thought about DMing you a few times, but I just felt like, you know, I don't know how to start the conversation, so I'm like, whatever. But I noticed you followed me, so yeah. I don't know. Do I have you followed? Let me make sure. There we go. I followed you back. I followed you back. I followed you back. There we go. My DMs are open to beautiful femmes. Well, I never want to make any kind of assumption like that, so I'm usually not the first to reach out. But I did follow you back, so if you want to DM me, you are welcome to. I love my trans flag, though. Pink, white, and blue are my favorite shades. I know white is the lack of colors. Yeah, for sure. I love this flag, personally, is my favorite. I like how extra it is. Some people don't, but I do. Do you ever just take a really relieving breath like that? By the way, can I just say, controversial hot take. White Castle, really good. I'm tired of pretending it's not. And I'm just sitting here thinking about it, how when I go inside, I got Chinese food waiting for me. Kind of like homemade Chinese food, which is good. It's going to be delicious, but I'm craving White Castle. And I can't get White Castle. Okay. Well, I just have to deal with it. I just have to accept it. I did chill under the lesbian umbrella for a while because I was still exploring my sexuality. Oh yeah, that's valid. Yeah, I mean, like, people oftentimes go through a number of different labels before they finally land on one that accurately describes them. And that's why I kind of hate it when people act like labeling is a bad thing, or like get all caught up on the idea that it's something that needs people to be caught up on it. Because it's like, whatever, just let people identify how they want to identify, and it'll be an accurate enough descriptor for that time in their life. And once they learn more about themselves, maybe that'll change, but that's fine, you know? No, I've never played the Mario Party series. Sorry, I'm also working on this script while I finish out this stream. Labeling can help just as much as it can hurt. It depends on how it's applied. For example, I like the labels I have because it helps me describe me sexually and generally romantic alignment. Well, yeah, exactly. I think that people say they can hurt, and I just haven't seen a lot of ways in which they hurt, other than sometimes limiting a person's discussion and how they see themselves, I guess. But, like, ultimately, those things change all the time, and I don't think it is limiting necessarily. any more than any other kind of language is limiting for any other factor that can be changed about a person's life or the way they look at things. Old Mary flag is not included under respectable flags. True. I would never fly an Old Mary flag. Regardless of how you feel about the divide between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials and the Independents, the non-committed, like, regardless of how you feel about all these, the White Gold Concordat was an evil fucking document. What's up, Dude Rolls? What's up, Whiskey Tom? Hello, everybody. Wood Elves are sus, too? I don't think the Wood Elves are sus, personally. I think the Wood Elves are mostly fine. The Wood Elves have been oppressed by the Aldmeri as well. You look sad, can I help? No, I'm not sad. I'm just working on a script while I stream. Kitty, quit it. Jesus. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the script. See ya, Daisy. Now I want to start a new playthrough as a Khajiit. Gonna immortalize my little burnt orange gremlin, Mogwai. Nice. You need to do that. Yes. Yes. I think you can customize the colors pretty heavily, can't you? On a Khajiit? Hell yeah. You need to do it. I want to see it. You can do it and then DM me what your character ends up looking like. Kitty! Can you please? I don't know why you're trying to attack me, but it's annoying. Okay. I cleaned it up a little bit. I don't know that I need to clean it up much more than that, though. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that's pretty much what needs to be done to it. Yeah, we got hardly nobody watching. Nobody watching. Eat that rooster in the background? No. Oh my god. Taylor's got olives. I want olives. I want olives so bad. I'm so happy. 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 So happy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The cat is about to get yeeted. I would never yeet a cat, okay? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Stream's basically fucking dead anyway. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for being cool. But I am going to stretch. Oh, maybe take a couple puffs off of this cigarette right here. Yes. And then record a video. I'll send memes. Sweet. Yeah. What is your profile picture over here anyway? Oh, okay. Righteous. Alrighty, peace, y'all. Bye.